You said, how do I handle my stressors? It depends. Sometimes it can be, good to have somebody to talk to about it. A lot of times I find myself just trying to puzzle out the message or understanding that spirit wants to give me in relation to, what is stressing me. And it often helps. Sometimes I have conversations with, often, not sometimes, a lot of times I have conversations with my creator, and that helps too. And they're not always, um, calm conversations. I think that sometimes what people do is when they feel stressed or anxious, they they tend to want to give that energy to somebody or something. There's some people that may punch a wall. There's some people that may yell at their significant or other or family member or whatever the case may be because they're stressed. And what I largely do is I I often yell at God. I will yell at spirit. I will be, if I'm upset, that's what I do. Even a lot of times when I cry or I'm just needing to get things off my chest, and I really do feel it be lifted and removed from me. And the first time I did it, I just felt very, very, very overwhelmed with everything in my life. And but I'm the type of person, like, I don't want to give that energy to people, really. I don't want to, everybody has their own stuff. How can I give this angry or upset or stressed out energy to somebody who's going through just as much as I am, you know? And I was in a position of, like, I refuse to give this energy to another person that is dealing with so much, even if maybe they are the cause of it, in some sense. And, I gave it to my creator instead. And the first time I did it, I felt so much energy released from me in a wave. And it really, just the Bible scripture that speaks about, give me your burdens, my yoke is light. That is what kind of came to me at that time, you know? And I understood, like, in a very big way, that it was always about letting my creator hold all of that stuff, you know? God doesn't care if you're mad with it. Your creator knows that there's a lot of stuff that you don't understand. You're a child dropped in this world, and it has a plan for you, and you don't know that plan, and that's frustrating and it's scary. So, what I just do when I did that and when I understood it that way, it just made it so much easier to some extent. Sometimes it is still good to have a friend to talk to about those things, a physical person. But I felt the largest or strongest understanding of feeling it released from me and just speaking to my creator. And I think it's because, our creator wants to be noticed by us and known. It wants to be there for us if we'll allow it. Hey, like I said, it is it's a mix, because again, it is good also to have friends, to talk to about those things as well. But there's nothing wrong with having the conversation with the one who can hold it all or take care of all of that understanding for you, and uh, do it in a more definitive way. Because again, I do feel, it's not to say I haven't had other stressors and anxieties about things, but I feel like there's certain past understandings that I let go of or release from myself more so, and a more definitive understanding because I gave it to my creator, and that was very helpful for me. But yes, so there's nothing wrong with having conversations with friends and venting in that way. But I do think that in some sense, you know, that our creator wants to be there for us like that if we'll allow it. It's funny because I often feel like I feel like a child, a child that, sometimes bickers at its parent and is upset. But at the same time, I know that, my creator has the best interest or best understanding for me. That doesn't mean I always agree or like the situation or whatever the case may be. But it makes me happy to just have that conversation, in a sense, that open line of communication in that way with my creator, even if I'm not always happy with all the decisions or all the plans that it has for me. And I'm not always happy. Whispers of sound, you know me. So, I'm not always happy at all of the understandings pertaining to it, but I accept it and, I move on. And I think I'm also happy in the understanding that, I'm not in fear. I'm not in this fearful energy because I think sometimes people do sit in a fearful energy about being that way with the creator. You know, I my understanding and the open line of communication that I have with my understanding of source is gentle in that way. It's not expecting me to just not be angry or like there are certain things that I went through in my life to acknowledge and be honest with myself that I did feel angry with my creator, that I felt angry with God, that I felt hurt and I felt so much. I felt abandoned in many ways. And I think that to some extent there's certain energy that I went through so that I would acknowledge the truth of that, And I think I even had a realization about it too. I was like, wow, you know, maybe to some this is about me finally acknowledging that truth and not being for that are afraid. Yeah, I think there are a lot of people that are afraid to just have that open understanding with their creator. You can be thankful, but also you're human. You're perfectly imperfect. You're not always thankful. Just like with your human parents, sometimes they may get on your nerves and sometimes you may dislike certain understandings with them. That doesn't mean you don't love them or care about them or appreciate, whatever understanding they've tried to give you or bring you up in, you know, depending. But that doesn't mean that you don't have other emotions and feelings about it. And so, yeah, but it's definitely a lot easier now to give that to my creator than anybody else because release those burdens so that you can move toward everything that you want for yourself. Yeah. But I really think that it's important to get back to in some ways it's about reconnecting with your soul self in a sense. But I think my life is a lot fuller. No, I know that my life is a lot fuller by being able to have conversations with my creator. And sometimes I'll be honest, I'll just be, out in public having a conversation with my creator. And maybe I look crazy to some people, but I know that I'm talking to the energy that, gave me this life and is there with me, even if it's not in a specific physical body. And, that makes my life more fun and more enjoyable in some sense. And it's not something that I'll ever give up, having given it up before for other reasons.